Well, he's back now.
Who is it?
It was a young kid. He had that big black guy with him. What was that kid name? Young blonde-headed kid.
Young blonde-headed kid.
Yeah, he got busted for the pot, but he had a license for it.
License with pot.
He had a big black guy that used to bodyguard with him. The big black guy ended up becoming ECW champion right before they got rid of ECW.
Ezekiel Jackson?
Ezekiel Zaka.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, he was with Ezekiel, the young kid was. Had blonde hair.
I don't remember off the top of my head.
Something like that.
People are going to crucify us online. They're going to be like, how don't you remember that? But I mean, that's...
Yeah. He was with
Ezekiel. It'll probably come to me right as we finish.
Yeah, he used to come out with Ezekiel first. Then they put Ezekiel by himself. Yeah, but he's back now.
He's back now.
Yeah, I seen him back now. But he failed the piss test. But he needed it for pain because he couldn't take pain pills. So he got medical marijuana for his pain. And the marijuana he had, you couldn't get stoned. They took what they call the THC or whatever is in it. They took that out of it so that it only take care of the pain, but he couldn't
medicinal use.
Medicinal use only.
Yes.
But you could smoke the whole thing and you won't get high. You couldn't get high off of it. It was just strictly for pain. But still, they found THC or whatever in his system, and he got fired. Nobody talked about it. I see a guy leave the next day, and I said, where's so-and-so? And this go all the way back to the 70s. Wrestlers are not friends. They are business associates.
Business associates.
How did I end up homeless? See?
Series of unfortunate events.
And could not get one wrestler to help me.
Did the wrestlers know you were homeless?
Bobby, yes.
Who? Who knew?
They all knew.
Who?
Everyone that when I went back in South December, they all was talking about it. Everybody in the dressing room knew. Hey, I hear you was doing pretty bad up in Maine. I hear you was homeless, eating out of trash can.
Can I play devil's advocate respectfully? If you lived in a park under a bench, how were they supposed to find you?
Because see what it, when you live in a small town, everybody know everybody. It was no secret in Maine. So when the wrestler came to match it, people tell them things. See, it's an old saying, telephone, telegraph, and tele-wrestler. They could go to the gym and say, hey, don't Tony Atlas live here? Yeah, man, but he's not doing good now. He's homeless. When I used to go to Philly, people tell me stuff about Joe Frazier when he was living. I didn't have to meet Joe Frazier to find out he's Joe Frazier, you know. When you're a celebrity, people don't have to be where you at. Word get around when something happened to you.
All right, that's fair enough.
I mean, it was on MTV.
Well, okay, in a documentary 10 years after the fact, right.
It was on MTV, so it wasn't like it was a secret there, you know. MTV talked about it. I mean, I was on radio station talking about it. I mean, I've been talking about it ever since it happened. When I went to WWE, played South December, every wrestler in the dressing room knew. But I couldn't ask one for a quarter.
Wow. And that's unfortunate.
But that's the business. And the boys keep it that way. I was going to ride with Ric Flair one time. And I was going to give Don Canuta a ride. And Flair said, if you take him, I'm not going with you. And I said, why not? He said, you got your spot, Tony, on top. I got my spot on top. He want his spot on top. He would do whatever it takes. Do whatever it takes to get on top.
So
if he could tell something on me that would get him higher on the food chain, he would do it in a heartbeat. I was in the dressing room when George Scott was the booker of WWF then. And he was chewing me out for some few things. And I said, George, how you know these things? George Scott said, who do you ride with? The safest spot for a pro wrestler is in the ring. Because in the ring, he can protect himself. The most dangerous spot for a pro wrestler is in a car when you're traveling. That's the most dangerous spot for a wrestler. Because the guy that you say something to, and Vince asked him one question, said, what happened with you and Tony? Everybody's constantly, because there's only room for one at the top.
Well, again, that is unfortunate. I do want to circle back
and another thing that we keep saying wrestling. There's no more wrestling. It's sports entertainment now. The wrestling ended in 1990. After 1990, there's no more wrestling.
All entertainment for the most part.
They don't wrestle.
Right.
How can you call something wrestling when you don't do it? Kicking, punching, and acrobatic move is not wrestling.
Showmanship.
It's showmanship. They do a lot of high spots and a lot of stuff. Nobody wrestles anymore. Bob Orton Jr. wrestler. Terry Funk
cowboy.
wrestler. Ric Flair wrestler. If you look at the matches, they wrestling. They're not bouncing off the road like a bunch of Mexican jumpy beans. I'm going to get in trouble for saying Mexican jumpy beans. But
You're going to get the Me Too hashtag.
oh,
on
yeah.
Twitter,
We're jumpy beans, okay? Black jumpy beans, now evening out. So that's pretty much how it is now. There's no such thing as, Vince's own words, Ted Turner lost because he was in the wrestling business. I won because I'm in the entertainment business.
Famous
now,
words.
It can't be no plainer than that.
Right. But
Wrestling is a thing of the past. People don't want to see wrestling no more.
I don't know if that's necessarily
They don't want to
true.
see wrestling more. Look at the houses. If you try to wrestle and have a wrestling match, people would crap on it. They would go,
Well,
boring.
there would have
The
to be a
world is
re-education
different.
to a degree.
The,
You're
the
right.
the world is different.
The World Wrestling Federation was live at the Rochester War Memorial in Rochester, New York, Wednesday, April the 4th, 1984. In the opening contest, women's tag team champions Velvet McIntyre and Princess Victoria retained the titles over Peggy Lee and Wendy Richter. Chief Jay Strongbow beat Ron Shaw. Greg the Hammer Valentine with the win over Salvatore Bellomo. B. Brian Blair and Tony Gurria defeated Mr. Fuji and Tiger Chung Lee. Polish Power Ivan Putski victorious over Sika via disqualification. Superfly Jimmy Snuka beat Alpha, and in the main event, the Iron Sheik with the win over Sergeant Slaughter via disqualification. If you were in Rochester live, share your memories in the comment section below. Use the links in the description box to keep Wrestling Legends working in our eBay store and on our acclaimed Patreon streaming service so we can bring you more interactive superstar shoot interviews to relive the good old days of professional wrestling. Check it out. Boston Wrestling Sports in the MWF explodes into a new year with professional wrestling content galore and need you to join our family. Every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. after our Monday Night Raw review, it's Wrestling Insiders at your house with WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas. Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. after NXT and AEW, join rotating legends on Wrestling Insiders Special Edition. Every Thursday night at 10 p.m. after our NXT and Dynamite review, it's Marty Jannetty's No Holds Barred Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll journey on Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty. Friday night after SmackDown, don't miss John Cena Sr.'s Wrestling Insiders Fabulous Fridays. Plus, look for classic clips, history videos, bonus live episodes, pay-per-view watch-alongs, and more. For less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks, get early ad-free access to our Wrestling Insider talk shows, our acclaimed studio shoot interview DVD library, and help keep Wrestling Legends working during the worst of times. Join our growing family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. Expect the unexpected in 2021.